Hey, what is going on, guys? This video today is hopefully going to be a pretty helpful one. So to be brutally honest, as of right now in Fortnite, there really isn't much to do involving the main Battle Royale mode. Chapter 2 Season 1 has already been the longest season in Fortnite history, and it still has about a month left, believe it or not. Plus, due to the holidays and a few other factors, the amount of content being added into the game has been at an all-time low as well. So because of all that, a lot of players are frantically searching for fun/new things to do in-game. And thankfully, due to creative mode, there are plenty of options. The purpose of this video is going to be to share the best game modes to play in creative mode and the codes for the best specific maps for each of those games. Some of the maps are pretty well known and you've probably seen plenty of streamers/YouTubers play on them before, while others you may hopefully be seeing for the first time. And my hope is that you can use this video as a reference whenever you want to play one of these game modes/maps with your friends. I remember trying to find a Team Zone Wars map, for example, and it seriously took me like 20 minutes of constantly searching and loading these maps to actually find one that was updated and actually worked. It was a super annoying and frustrating process, and my hope is that I can prevent some of you guys from experiencing the same thing. I'll be sure to put the timestamps in the description below. All the codes to the maps will be on the screen as we go throughout them, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so let's start this off with the best Zone Wars maps. I'm hoping by now all of you guys know what Zone Wars is, so no need to really explain it. So for solo Zone Wars, I think the two best maps are both by Enigma. The first one is the more traditional one named Downhill River that you'll see on screen, and it's probably the single most played Zone Wars map right now. Everyone spawns in a brick box with a random loadout and 1,500 total materials. You also get 3 random weapons/items that you can trade 90 mats to pick up. And then from there, it's basically just typical Zone Wars. I think the size is perfect no matter how many people you're playing with, and that's pretty much all that needs to be said about that specific map. The next Enigma Zone Wars map is pretty much brand new at the time I'm making this video, and it's called Dynasty Zone Wars. This is hands down the most advanced Zone Wars map that I've ever seen. Some of the features of it include arena mode style placement and elimination points, supply drones, kill streak rewards which are super fun, and the ability to fish on certain parts of the map with harpoons. And before each round starts, you and your friends can choose to vote whether you want a random amount of ammo/mats or the normal preset amount. According to Enigma himself, he says, aside from the killstreak rewards and supply drones, which I personally think are really fun by the way, this map might be the most realistic map for an arena endgame. Although it starts off big, the arena closes pretty quickly and really does have that arena vibe to it with the placement points. So it's a super cool map, it runs really smooth, and I think it'll become much more popular than Enigma's other map once more people learn about it. And now, the best Team Zone Wars map, I believe, is Tropical Zone Wars by Donnie SC. Again, a map you've probably seen before if you've watched a lot of Zone Wars, but the basics of it are as follows. You spawn in a random pod each round, but unlike other maps, they're all right next to each other, which makes it perfect for Team Zone Wars. You get the same loadout each round, 1,500 mats, and the storm constantly moves so you can't really camp. It's cool because some rounds you'll spawn in a high pod so you have a really good chance to get high ground, and then other rounds you'll spawn in a low pod and be forced to play low ground. And even though it's the best team map, it also works perfectly fine as a solos map as well, and I know some people actually think it's the best solos map, so take that for what it's worth. Now, for the best box fighting map, it's gotta be the Clicks map by Panville. It's just a super popular map that pretty much all the pros use, and you can use it for both solo box fights and team box fights. There's some other maps out there that are a little smaller than this one, which some people say are better for 1v1s, but I personally disagree. And the good thing about box fighting maps is that they're really simple, so all you really need is this one for all your possible box fighting needs now and probably in the future as well. So now we move on to the game modes and maps that are less well known than zone wars and box fights, and the first one here is going to be aim dueling. The best map for this is VF Creator's aim duel map. If you aren't familiar with what an aim duel is, it's a 1v1 game mode where you and a friend are basically trapped inside a 1x1 box area with the same weapon and 2,000 health. You can't build, edit, or escape the area, and the two players shoot at each other until one of them eventually dies. It simply comes down to a battle of who has the better overall aim and close range mobility. You can choose between a bunch of different weapons to duel with, including the P90, Scar, TAC, Pump, etc. And all those weapons have unlimited ammo and they reload automatically, so you don't need to worry about that in the middle of the crazy fight. Plus, you can also choose whether or not you want to have a cone inside the 1x1 to kinda navigate around and use as cover. It's super fun to play, it only requires one other person to play with, and much like everything else in this video, it's gonna make you a much better overall Fortnite player by improving your close range aim and mobility. The next minigame on our list is called Mid-Game Fight Practice by Naller-BTW. It's a really cool game mode that you can play with either a team of solos, duos, or squads. And the way it works is really interesting, so I'll just read Naller's exact description that he gave. The map is supposed to focus on the fights you get into after leaving your drop spot in the beginning of the mid-game. Team 1 spawns on the ground, Team 2 spawns at high ground so they can push the enemies from Team 1, and then Team 3 spawns behind a barrier that stays up for 30 seconds, and then once it goes away, that team will third party the current fight. A storm is generated after 2 minutes, and the map is updated with the Chapter 2 loot pool and has random generated loot for everyone, so you don't spawn with a blue AR, purple pump, and some healing items like in most box fight maps. So it's definitely a really cool and unique idea that's unlike any other practice-based creative minigame I've ever seen. Game modes like Zone Wars and Box Fights are awesome, and they really help you with mechanical skill, but they don't really prepare you for the more strategy-based early/mid-game fights involving fighting multiple different teams at the same time. And this game mode is perfect if you're part of a group of friends with uneven skill levels. You can make the best players of the group be on Team 1 that's basically forced into low ground right away, and the worst players can be on Team 2 or 3 since they start the game with a situational advantage. The final thing in this video is going to be the best 1v1 map, and it's called BHE 1v1 Build Fights, created by a guy named BHE. Now, I know you don't technically need a preset map for 1v1 since you can just hop into creative mode and kinda spawn stuff in, but trust me, this map is sick and it has a really cool feature that I've never seen before. So just like your typical 1v1 maps, you have the starting ramp, all the possible weapons in the game laid out on the ground with infinite ammo, plus some additional items that players sometimes use in 1v1s like traps and grapplers, there's no fall damage, and it also has this cool purple galaxy sky background that looks sick. But if you've played other creative 1v1 maps, you know none of that is really anything special. What makes this map really great is the reset build button. All you have to do is press one simple button that's right next to the ramp, and all the building in the immediate area will be instantly destroyed even if it isn't directly connected to the ramp. I know it's only a small little convenience, but man is it cool. And at the end of the day, if you do something like 20 or 30 1v1s in a row, which a lot of people do, even if this just saves you 10 seconds per 1v1 because now you don't need to manually shoot the builds down, that's something like 5 less minutes of wasted time, and who doesn't like not wasting time? So I think that feature combined with everything else on this map really puts it ahead of all the other 1v1 maps out there. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down in the comment section below. If you've played any of the specific maps, or even the game modes I talked about in this video, let me know your thoughts on them. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.